great.
It's California Edition. I'm Brad Pomerance. We are joined by Mike Eng. He is a member of the Los Angeles Community College District. Sir, we haven't spoken since you joined the board. You had been a member of the California Assembly. How's your new job on the Board of Trustees?
I love it. It's the job I think I was born to fill, primarily because of being an at-risk child and having learning difficulties. So it is absolutely wonderful. Thank you for asking.
No, and I know recently you had the opportunity to see President Obama speak at one of the 9 institutions that is operated by the LACCD. Tell us about the visit by the president to LA Trade Tech.
Let me tell you why this was such an incredible and amazing visit.
Right.
It was amazing because when people think of community college, they think of last place.
Right.
They think of not ready for prime time. And yet by the president visiting Los Angeles Trade Tech, he sent a signal to the nation that our community colleges are worthy of the funding and of the attention because it prepares the middle class for the jobs that are going to be available in the new economy.
It's interesting you mentioned there's this sense that somehow that community colleges are for last place for kids in trouble. That may have been the case many years ago, but today it's just not. I mean, there are plenty of middle-class families who send their kids to 2 years for a variety of reasons, and then they transfer to a very fine UC, CSU, private institution, whatever it may be. So I agree. I mean, it's a different world.
Absolutely. And the cost factor. During the recession of 2008, 2013, working families, middle-class families, and upper-middle-class families discovered a shocking fact, that community colleges cost $10,000 less than a Cal State University education, $20,000 less than the University of California education, and $35,000 less a year. These are all per year.
Of course.
Less than a private university.
And that begs the question on the future of community colleges. As you know, as we speak today, there's a bill pending in the legislature. Senator Marty Blunt from San Diego has been pushing this idea since the time you were in the legislature.
Absolutely.
And what the bill would do is it would set up a pilot program whereby 15 community colleges could offer 1 bachelor degree in a non-duplicated major from the CSU UC system. What do you think about that bill?
This is an idea whose time has come. 21 universities already allow community colleges to offer a bachelor's
21
degree.
states.
21
Yeah.
states,
Right.
yeah, 21 states.
It's true.
50 colleges.
Right.
50 community colleges already do what we're doing with 425 majors. So this is an issue whose time has come. Just think about the new technology that is going to be required, the new jobs that are going to be created right now. The Affordable Care Act, Obamacare, has meant that many, many more people, 2 million in California alone, will have access to health care now.
And it's interesting you mentioned that because I know that as part of President Obama's visit, he had touted that the Labor Department had given about $20 million to LA Trade Tech specifically for healthcare professions.
Absolutely. And so you think about the new professions that are being created even as we sit. For example, nursing, historically a 2-year program. The proposal eventually is a 4-year degree.
Right.
Emergency medical technician, 4-year degree.
At the same time, the bill is fairly limited. Only 15 institutions can sign up for the pilot program. There's this question of non-duplication, that it can't be a degree that's already offered at the UC system or the CSU system, or at least, I guess, is it the entire system or just the UC or CSU nearby? Do you know, sir?
I believe it's the local,
Right.
Local CSUs,
Right.
Cal States, and University of California. And as you know, they're pretty dispersed. There's
are.
only 10 UCs in the state.
Right,
There's
right.
112 plus community colleges. We are your education in a box on every corner.
Right. So let's talk about LACCD and whether LACCD is looking to participate in this program, because I presume there will be an application process because up to
Absolutely.
15 can apply. Do
Yes.
you know if the district is looking to be one of those 15?
Well, as long as I am a trustee, we will make that front and center. Let me tell you why.
Please.
We are the largest community college district in the United States. We have a footprint of 900 square miles.
Right.
We serve 4 million people. This is access to many of the students that would not ordinarily get into a UC or Cal State. Many people don't know this, but only 1/3 of the entire graduating class from a K-12 can actually go on
Right.
to a UC education.
Right. At the same time, there is a sense that this program may best serve students who live in areas where there are not UCs or CSUs, because they just don't have access. To get to a CSU or UC if you live in North State can be hours and hours of driving. So could you face some stiff competition given this notion that, you know, if you're in Eureka, there's no CSU or UC nearby?
Well, this is why it's a pilot program that will start in
Right.
2015. The degree must be completed by 2022-23.
Right.
And so we'll see. There's a lot of criticism of the program, and I am not unfamiliar with the criticism that it's going to create duplication,
Right.
that it's going to create unintended consequences. The costs are unknown, and that's one of the major things we're dealing with right now is how much are we going to charge?
And as I understand it, though, the bill requires that the charge be less than
Yes,
CSU.
it must be less than, and as it goes through the Appropriations Committee right now in the State Assembly, it's going to face that kind of scrutiny. So I'm confident, having been through the process, the sausage-making process,
you've been there,
that we're going to come out with a metric that makes sure that it's affordable and accessible, because that's really the mission of the community college.
Now, you've told me, I've seen that there are different standards for professors that teach at community colleges and professors that teach at four-year institutions. Will you need, for example, at LACCD, presuming you're part of the pilot, to bring on professors with PhDs? Is that necessary, or will masters be adequate in terms of educating students?
Well, right now there isn't a requirement for many four-year colleges that offer a baccalaureate degree to have more than a master's degree. But I think that raises an interesting question.
Right.
As the professions themselves, the subject matter that we teach, the curricula that we require moves up a notch. For example, nurses require a baccalaureate degree in the future. Should we not take a look at that? And we want to hear what the faculty has to say. We want to see how those 21 other states handle this, and we'd like to see how it applies here in California. The exciting metric for everyone in California is that we are all going to be moving up a notch, all of us, whether we're elected officials, whether in the nonprofit world, the educational world, the business world. We are now a global economy. Education is now global. We are competing with curricula from all over the world. We're competing for jobs all over the world. So ought we not then kick it up a notch and redefine ourselves by comparing ourselves, not with a local entity, but a worldwide, becoming a world-class institution,
Sure.
and that's my mission.
You were in the legislature during some of the toughest times for community colleges. Community colleges saw tremendous cuts over the recession. You've joined the board at a much better time. Talk
Yes.
to me about what you're seeing now as a board member, because I know it was painful for everyone in the legislature to have to impose those draconian cuts.
Within months after I got elected, we had the deepest depression, I would say.
Right.
Since
One
the
could
last
argue. One could argue.
We were down $40 billion a year.
Right.
And the moment I left the legislature, within a few months, we had a surplus. What does
Right.
that say?
Yeah, it's all your fault.
It may not be my fault, but it's now my mission to go back, and I have gone back,
Right.
to say now that you do have the money, Proposition 30, as you know, created a tax base for higher education and for K-12s. And we're going back and we're saying, listen, with the additional funding, the economy is recovering now. Let's take a look at making the investments that we had to move away from during the Great
And do
Recession.
you feel like your colleagues in the state are listening? Do you feel as if community colleges are getting the funding it deserves? They deserve?
I think from the governor laterally
Right.
to everyone, the good thing is that the old term limits where you had to
Yes.
make an impression in 6 years or less, we don't have that now. People are going to stay there for 12 years. So taking a risk, standing up for education, standing up for disadvantaged students, standing up for the California economy is now something that we can say is a legacy that will be a decades long.
You're a good man, Mr. Ng. He is a member of the LA County Community College District. I'm Brad Pomerance. It's California Edition.